Hello fellow balloon twisters. Chances are you're watching this video because you got a balloon from me and you want to learn how to become the very next best balloon twister. Well, unfortunately this video is not going to show you how to do that. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to start you out with the basics that will allow you to get better at balloon twisting and actually learn and start coming up with your own ideas. And maybe, hey, in a few years you'll be doing balloons like this. So to get started, you're going to obviously need some balloons. The brand I use, it's called Qualatex. It's a brand that's been around for years and years and seems to be the best balloons that to use for this kind of stuff. There's a few other brands out there. Qualatex is probably the brand you want to stick with. So you can find those at a party store, you can do a search online, shoot me an email, I can kind of point you in the right direction of where to go and where to get these balloons. There's also different sizes and shapes of balloons. There's, just round balloons, there's heart-shaped balloons, there's balloons that we call 160s, 260s, 350s, and some other ones that are larger size that I typically don't use. But the size and shape balloon you want to get is called 260Q. And all that is it describes the balloon when it's inflated. So while the balloon's inflated, 260 stands for the balloon being 2 inches around the circumference of it and 60 inches long. Makes pretty good sense there. And a 160 will do the same thing. A 160 when inflated is 1 inch around and 60 inches long. So once you know that formula, you can kind of apply that to all the different sizes and shapes of balloons, and it should make a little bit more sense. Now, so you want to get a 260 balloon. I'm going to teach you how to do the very basic balloon. It's a balloon dog. It's a balloon I think every single balloon twister starts out with, and it's still one of the most popular balloons that I make to this day. So you'll get a balloon. You'll also want to get a balloon pump. Word of caution, these balloons are extremely difficult to inflate. It even says on the bag that you should not inflate them with your mouth. You can try it. If it works out, great. I've heard some horror stories of people inflating balloons with their mouths, so you might want to be careful and just go ahead and buy a $3 or $4 pump at a local party store or where you get your balloons from. Anyways, I'm going to break that rule today. I'm going to inflate the balloon with my mouth. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to inflate the balloon. You know what? I'm going to inflate it a little bit more. So that you have a tail that's about 4 inches long. You never ever want to inflate the balloon all the way. And the reason why is because when you're twisting the balloon, that takes up space in the balloon. So, for instance, if you were to blow the balloon all the way up and you begin twisting it, that's going to take up space in the balloon, space that the balloon doesn't have because it's filled with air. So it'll basically just burst on you. So always leave a tail on the balloon, and then we're going to do another technique that'll prevent the balloon from popping even more so, and that's called burping the balloon. Now, as you notice, I haven't tied the nozzle just yet, and that's so that we can burp the balloon. To burp the balloon, all you do is you take your fingers and hold the nozzle. I'm using my first finger and my thumb to hold the nozzle. My other hand grabs the nozzle and kind of stretches it out, and at the same time, I'm going to kind of just squeeze a little bit of air through there. As you can see, it kind of fills up in that space just because I'm kind of stretching the balloon a little bit and squeezing with my to your left, my right hand. And then just let that air out. Don't let all of it out. And do it again. A little bit more air comes out. And again. 2-3 times. We're going to then tie the balloon. It's also going to make it easier to tie the balloon. Now you'll notice if you do that, it also softens up the balloon and it's going to make it easier to twist and, like I said before, less likely to pop. Now, the reason most balloon twisters start out with making a dog is because it uses one twist, the same twist, 3 times, and you make a dog. So, the very basic twist that we're going to learn today is called a pinch twist. You pinch the balloon and you twist the balloon. That's all there is to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down about 3 inches. We're going to take our first finger and our thumb. We're going to pinch the balloon. And with our hand, our opposite hand, we are going to turn the balloon. While we're still pinching the balloon, we're going to turn it a little bit more and a little bit more, just a couple times around, like so. Now, One mistake that beginning balloon twisters make is that they think that because they twisted this around, it's going to stay, so they let go of it, and as you can see, it does not. The twist will not stay until you make another twist and lock them together, and I'll explain what I mean there in just a minute. So once again, 3 inches, pinch with our fingers, twist with our opposite hand a couple times around. While holding onto that balloon, we're going to make one more twist here. Now, we're going to take the balloon, the remainder of the balloon here, and we're going to fold it against itself, just like so. Now, where we've made this twist here, we're going to twist this balloon with this part of the balloon. Okay? So, our fingers come up, trying to make this as clear as possible, and it twists around. Just 2-3 times is all you need. That will then make that twist stay in place. So there, we have the head of the dog. And like I said, the easy thing about the dog is that we're going to do that twist 2 more times, and we'll have it. So we'll go down for a neck, about 2 to 3 inches again. Pinch with our fingers, twist with our opposite hand, just like so. We're going to take the remainder of the balloon, fold it against itself, give it a pinch, twist that around. That made the front set of legs for the dog. Now we're going to make the dog's body. For the body, I usually go a little bit longer than I do the neck, about 4 or 5 inches. Pinch, twist, fold the remaining balloon together, twist that around, and that is it. Now, a few adjustments here. There, and there, and we have a dog. That's all it is. Now, depending on how much you inflated the balloon at the very beginning, you might be left with a little bit of a tail, or you might not. If you are, you can do something that's kind of neat here. And it takes a little bit of practice, but I'm going to show you the easiest way I know of doing what we're going to do here. You take the balloon, and about 1.5 inches bubble, we're going to twist. And we're going to twist that a couple times around. And then with our hand, we're going to squeeze this air up to the top of the balloon here. So basically, I'm going to make this space in the balloon go from here to there. Okay, and what that's going to do is that's going to create a little separate bubble from the rest of the balloon and give us a tail that looks like a poodle. So with our hand, we squeeze, creates the air there, or the space there, and it leaves a little tail at the end. Now, like I said before, depending on how much space you have left, you can or cannot do it. Not going to make or break the dog. First, practice the twists, get those down, do it quicker, repeat it so you don't have to even think about it. You can just be talking, and you'll be set to move on to some other stuff. Of course, with every balloon, you can always decorate it, give it a little bit of character. I mean, what I typically do is just give it a couple of eyes and a smile, and that's a dog. And just a couple key reminders. Qualatex balloons, 260Q is the size and shape you want to get. Get a balloon pump. I'm telling you ahead of time, it's way easier. You can even use an air compressor if you have to. And focus on those 3 twists. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email at bookmagicnow@yahoo.com. Be happy to answer them. And I want to thank you for watching.